Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Home Coffee Brewing with April. So I'm in Copenhagen for one quick kind of video, and then I'm going to head out over to Dubai, and then kind of moving forward to do a few more videos. So this time we're going to meet up with Shujue, which actually was a volunteer, so like a home brewer that was a volunteer at the World of Coffee here in Copenhagen, which is something that I was before. We're kind of right in my very beginning of the journey as well. So let's get in and see how she is using the April brewer at home. So we're inside, we're back in Copenhagen. We're after World of Coffee. There's a bunch of stuff that's been going on here, and we're gonna brew some coffee together. No?
Nice.
Exactly. Nice. It's pretty nice. I'm looking forward to it. Maybe start with what kind of beans are we gonna brew today?
Actually, I have, because of the World Cup, those beans are all that I haven't tried before. So I have 3, and that one is almost done. So it's I bought before. So I have 3 of it.
Samana SL28 from Timandabo, always a very good coffee.
That one, yeah. That one I asked my friend to buy me from Norway. Yep. Because the postage is too expensive.
And another Oslo roaster,
yeah.
Fuglen,
yeah.
which you can also find in Japan.
Oh,
if you
yes.
want to.
Cool.
Yeah. Just so you know. Yellow Red Caturra, Cajamarca. Don't like to write countries on it anyway. That's fine, I guess. It's a bit weird. No?
Actually, this is the first time I tried the Flugen.
Yep.
And also,
Peru, sorry.
I mean, Flugen, this brand. So I met them at the World Cup of Coffee. And I just random grabbed one, and I found it's nice at the low temperature. And I went back and said, what's that? And they said it's Peru. Actually, I don't drink a lot of beans from Peru.
Peruvian coffee, sure.
So, yeah.
Peruvian coffee is like, it's interesting because a lot of it is, not sure if this is, but a lot of them are organic farm coffee, usually quite high altitude coffees, and usually kind of very clean and crisp. I do see a coffee I think is really exciting. Like, I'm not supposed to choose the coffee here, but I'm going to just weigh in and say that this coffee might be a very interesting coffee to try. Sure,
I just opened it today.
Have you tried it?
I tried this morning.
Do you wanna brew it?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, now I'm kind of forcing her to brew this coffee, but
sure, no problem.
I'm sorry for that. So Monogram, which you also met at the World of Coffee.
At the cupping, and I actually also don't know about this roastery before. I know about Flugen before, but I never tried their coffee. But this one, I have never known before. Okay. Even now, which country are they from?
I'll give you the breakdown. So Monogram is from Canada.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I want to say Calgary. Yeah, it's for sure Calgary. Founded by 2 or 3 people. One of them being one of the most famous, probably the best, World Barista Championship competitor.
Wow.
In the history of the competition, Ben Putt. He's very good at what he does. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So let's start prepping this, and then let's just talk a little bit about how you're doing it or not doing it.
Sure.
Do you want to share a bit about what the coffee is? Do you know, or do you need to?
Well, it's a Gesha, and the process is dark room dry natural. I don't know the dark room dry natural means. Maybe it's natural, but put into a dark room.
Usually it's actually like that simple. Yeah.
And I when I look at natural, I'm not so sure if I would like it. And I tried this morning. It doesn't work as I wanted, but we can try again, and maybe you can give some advice to make it better. Okay.
How did you brew it this morning?
I brewed with your brewer.
Yep.
And I can repeat as the same what I did in the morning.
Okay. Do you want to try that, or should we try to work out a better recipe?
I can do the same, and then you can correct it.
Okay, let's do the same. So, long story short, Panamanian Gesha, the estate or the farm is Elida, which just won a very famous green coffee competition in Panama called Best of Panama. So they won the natural category and did really well in the wash process category. Yeah, sure.
I actually did the cupping there, and their coffee are really nice. I tried to buy one, but they're not for sale. Yeah. So they only have this one. That's why I buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good coffee from a very good roastery in Canada. So cool. Let's try it.
Sure.
Do your thing, and then we'll figure out what that means. Yeah.
Great.
So Comandante grinder, I can see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you tried like a lot of different grinders, or is Comandante like your first choice and you kind of stuck with it?
Actually, before this one, I was using a very commercialized, I don't remember the brand, and very cheap, like automatic.
Yep.
And my friend recommended me to buy this one. So I bought, and it do have a very big difference. And then I realized because of the grinding, those particles, they have to be as even as possible. So in a way that you can brew better.
Yep.
And the past one, they have like big and small.
Yeah.
And also the shapes and everything, it's just, you can't do it.
Quite ununiform.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Exactly. So yeah. So then I just stick with it.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
But the drawback that I don't like so much is the click.
Yeah,
So
sure.
I don't remember the click I have, and I keep it like as here. It's like
Do you know?
23, I think.
Okay,
Around,
so roughly 23 clicks
roughly.
on a standard Comandante. Yeah, cool.
Right.
And how much coffee are we dosing?
We just do 12.
12? Okay.
Because I'm going to use your brewer.
Yep.
If I use my brewer, not mine, but the V60,
Yeah.
I usually do 15.
Okay. And why is that? What do you think is the main difference, and why do you then use more coffee?
I mean, my maximum is 15. When the gram goes over 15, it's kind of difficult to brew.
Yeah, okay.
So, and yours, because of your cup, is that big.
Sure. So you normally brew directly into...
And also your recipe is going with 12. That make me easier to do it.
Do you most of the time kind of follow our recipes, or do you try different things?
Because I'm very new with your brewer. I firstly will follow your recipe. If I don't like it, I might change a bit, either in temperature or the grinder.
Okay.
But I didn't change too much on how I brew it.
Okay.
To keep it consistent.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, because I don't remember. I don't brew so much recently, and I can't keep.
You can't keep remembering all the.
I don't
recipes.
recall, and I forgot what I did.
You should write it down, no? Or you could.
I should, maybe.
You can. It's like a good idea for those of you that do a lot
Exactly.
of them, right? But
Exactly.
you also don't have to.
Yeah, but good thing is your brewer usually it doesn't go out with any like surprisingly bad or those, because it's quite stable.
It's like hard to make a bad coffee.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's a good thing.
That's true. So usually if it's an unknown one and it's not very cheap and it's not the beans that I know very well, I will use yours. And with V60, I usually, before I do with Kenya or Ethiopia, and I know pretty much.
Okay.
And I like the citric flavor.
Yep.
So with yours, it goes more balanced. My sweetness might be higher, but the acidity will also like be different with the V60. So yeah.
That's true.
Maybe I should also do the water.
Go for it. What is so obviously bottled water. Have you tried a lot of different ones, or?
When I come to Copenhagen, I talk to the different coffee baristas, and they said that you can just pick something with this hydrogen carbonate, which is below 100.
Yep.
That could be fine.
Okay.
So I just searched in the supermarket and I found this one.
Yep.
Mostly I use this one, but there's another one which can work too. Definitely it's not as good as, the ones at the coffee shop.
Yeah, which you could also always get if you want to. I always recommend that homebrewers kind of should go by the local coffee shop and like ask them to, bring the bottle, and we fill up the bottle with some proper water.
Yeah.
But bottled water is still a great choice, I think. It's and especially in Copenhagen, the water is really bad.
It's really too hard.
Yeah, if you take tap water here, it's just kind of kill the coffee, right? So it makes a lot of sense. So I see you set it on 100 degrees.
Oh.
Or is that no? Okay. We're not setting it on 100 degrees. It was like a class of people. So you're at 94.
Yeah, usually I took 95.
Okay.
But I'm adjusting to 94 because I feel this bean is not as light as I think.
Yep.
So in the morning I use the 95.
Yep.
But I don't know if 1 degree can make a difference.
1 degree I don't think makes a
Such a-
massive difference. I think it makes a difference.
Mm.
I do think it makes a lot of sense to go lower in temperature on something that is more developed. So if you're looking at a slightly more developed roast, which this maybe is in relationship to, let's say, what April would do, then it could definitely benefit from being lower in temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So maybe we can try a 93 instead.
When you brewed this coffee this morning, was there like a very quick brew time?
Yes,
Yes.
it is.
What
And
was
I should try to make it longer.
Yes.
So maybe I should adjust the grinder as well.
I think what I might suggest, so did you do the classic 100-100?
Yes.
Yeah. Was that what we were planning to do now?
Yes, you have suggestions for
Should we
Sure.
change a little bit?
Of course.
So now I'm
I'd
going
love to
off
have
protocol here, but I think that's just because you also want to figure out how to brew it better, right? And you mentioned before that the first cup in the morning was not
As good as
100%,
well.
right?
Yeah.
And just like smelling this coffee, chewing the beans as I always do, reading a bit about the processing, it's pretty clear to tell that this is going to have a really fast flow rate because this is a relatively heavy processed coffee. So what I would recommend to do is to break up the pouring structure, move away from the 2-pour, and probably do 50-50-100.
50-50-100.
Yes.
So you mean a 50 with circle
Yes.
and another 50
Circle.
circle?
And then you can just run 100 center pour.
And how about the time?
I would do that probably 35. Just do that in whatever way you would normally do. I'm stepping in too much here already.
No, I mean this is a good lesson, right? It's a different way of.
I think just because okay, now you're rinsing the filter.
Yes, I will
With
tell
tap
you why.
Tell me why. We're gonna make sure you get to see this also.
Yeah.
Is this because one of our videos, or is that something else? Because I have a few people that have done this. So
You know why?
basically rinsing the paper filter with tap water.
The reason is because buying the water is very time consuming.
Sure.
And it's heavy.
You don't. Yeah. Okay. You don't want to waste the
water.
The bottled water. Ah. Okay. So yeah, the main thing with rinsing the paper filter under the tap water is the fact that you don't want to go and buy water all the time.
Right.
So you're basically, keeping the water, which makes a lot of sense. And I think we can still, there is definitely a discussion if hot water, cold water, filtered water, not filtered water actually makes a difference. And I think rinsing it makes sense also just for the paper filter to fit properly into the filter.
Yeah, because I used to have in China, I'm always told that you have to rinse the water in the cup with warm water. And then, but I'm thinking, what's the big difference? So if I do this and it turns out like good, why bother?
Fair enough. Good.
Oops. Yeah. So
11.9. I say
11.9.
that's 12. I think we can live with that.
Yeah.
Cool. You kind of level out the coffee grounds in the filter. Is that something you always do?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so what was it? 50, 50, and 100?
I think so, yes. So
That's
50, again, you try to keep the kind of, let's say 10-second interval per pour. And then you just wait basically at 30 seconds, you do that second pour.
Okay.
And then I think we wait up to almost 110, 120 for the last pour.
Let's
Because
try.
this is going to go through really quickly.
Okay.
Now I'm
let's
kind of
try.
coaching here, which we shouldn't do, but I'm doing it anyway.
Why not? Oh, it's but
Go for it. So timer. $50 grams. Someone has been practicing the pouring. It's just nice. So roast date the 13th of June, which you can actually see on the coffee bed because the coffee bed doesn't really swell up. which means it's properly degassed and kind of ready to brew. Let that sit to 40.
Oh, sorry?
Let that sit until 40
Okay.
seconds. Yeah. I can just see again that the water goes through so quickly, so it's better if we try to stretch out the brew time. A lot of people, I think, when they brew, they forget to look at the coffee. They're so stuck on all the numbers that they don't really see how the water in the coffee behaves.
You're right. Actually, you're right. But I do look at the coffee.
Yes, it's always a combination, right? I think numbers are super helpful, and it's a great kind of step in kind of finding that base recipe. But then when you really want to kind of upgrade, then it's good to just kind of have a look at it. So I think at 120 now.
So you suggest a center or?
Yeah. And then you just go all the way up, 200.
Let's see some magic can happen or not. This is a
we're only changing
course.
here because you already tried kind of a normal recipe this morning and weren't so happy with it. So we might as well just kind of straight on. I'm here. So it's part of the journey is trying to figure out a better way to do it. Cool. So we're done at 2 and then the last pour finish at 140 pretty much. That's going to give us a much longer contact time than what you're used to. Do you remember roughly what the morning cup was in terms of brew time?
It's definitely shorter. It's around 2 minutes or 130, 140.
Yeah, in like total. And it's basically what we've done now because we haven't changed the grind size, right?
No.
But we still changed the contact time significantly.
Yeah.
And that's just in the pouring. And it's because the more water we put in the filter, the faster it drains through, right? Which makes sense. So we just regulated that, switched out the timing a little bit, and now the contact time is
much longer.
In theory, pretty perfect. It's going to be around 250 maybe in total. And that's going to just extract more out of the coffee. And then we see if you actually still like it or not. That's a different. That's a different story. So, little bit off topic, but still on topic. We have something in common that we talked a little bit about before, and it's the fact that I actually volunteered at the World of Coffee before I started to work in coffee. And you have actually also just very recently in Copenhagen volunteered in the brew bar at the World of Coffee, right? And you don't work with coffee.
No, I don't. Never.
Do you want to share a little bit what the kind of experience? Like, how was that? Was that interesting?
Yeah, I really love it. I say to my colleague, like, it's one of my best week in the year. So I really enjoy it. I meet a lot of like-minded persons and they're from all over the world. I met from Japan, also the competitor from Indonesia. And he got a 10th place, I think. And and also people flying from London. And it's really nice. And we exchange thought, we exchange coffees and like experience. Like I like the Japanese girl who worked at Africa for over 5 years, just helping the farmers. And also if you talk to people are with different purpose. So it's not just for the coffee. And it's also very nice if people think about helping the farmers there. With companies just doing small management teams and then helping the farmers to improve their life. So that's very meaningful to me as well.
Okay, so like you would recommend that as an experience to other people as well?
Sure. I think I'm going to join next year as well. Because it's really super fun.
And then that's going to be in Geneva, maybe?
It can be,
Or Indonesia?
I will be interested in Brewer Cup, so if I can, I will go to Geneva.
We still don't know when that is. Is that in Geneva?
In Jakarta.
That's in Jakarta. No, but that's true. And the barista is in barista in Milan, brewers in Jakarta, most likely, right? That's super cool though, because and I also thought like from my first experience volunteering as well, it is a great way to meet people, and I think it's also important for you guys to know that you can actually volunteer at these events without being like a professional
not
barista,
at all.
right?
No,
you don't have to be, right? You can still kind of enjoy it and just be a part of it.
Exactly. And you know more about the coffee knowledge by doing it. Also, I helped in the competition, so for the roastery part. So and now I know, so you have to measure with the machine, how you measure the colors and this stuff. It's super fun.
Awesome. So make sure you volunteer for the next SCA event, pretty much, right? Let's try this. Now the scale is died on this. But it's total brew time of like 3 minutes. Let's try it now. See if it's better.
Okay. How should I?
Either we just share the cup or you split it in cup. That's totally up to you.
If you don't mind, we can share the cup.
Let's do it.
All right, take a spoon.
That's like a full cup of coffee. But it's also, this cup is actually designed to fit that 200 recipe pretty much perfect.
That's a bit, yeah. So there's a drawback that I have to say.
It's very hot.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is because it was designed to actually be an espresso cup first, right? So I think when
is
you,
it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
so
why.
designed in our stores to be for like espresso beverage and espresso with milk. So if you're gonna brew in these, I probably recommend to brew in our server first and then pour in these because they do get really hot. Then again, it keeps you from drinking the coffee too hot, which is also a good thing. You're drinking it very hot.
I like it cold.
So should we talk a little bit about how this, like the aromatics, what do we actually smell in the coffee? It's a quite, so like to recap on the coffee itself, so Gesha, which we know by now, it says on the bag, flavors of mango, strawberry, and orange. Again, dark room, dry, natural. I think when I smell it, I smell a lot of these kind of maybe more red, brownish flavor notes.
Yeah.
Not so yellow, not so
Agree.
orange. So it's a little bit kind of more on the ferment side, but you have this kind of floral complexity that comes from a geisha coffee. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. I usually drink geisha only with the washed one, so
Yep.
I'm not sure about the natural process.
Fair enough. It just becomes a lot sweeter, right? I think in general.
It is, even at that high temperature, it's quite, it's not even, I mean, it's sweet.
It's very sweet, actually. I'm very curious to hear what you think about in comparison to the morning cup.
It's better. I hope it's
better.
not psychologically reasons because
Based on
you are
how
guiding
little-
me, but
Okay.
I feel it's quite improved.
Okay.
It's more balanced compared to the one I did in the morning.
I'm gonna pour it over so we can try it properly. It's just a little bit too hot for me. Can I serve this?
Yes, sure.
I'm just stealing your cup now, but okay.
Oh, you're using, okay. It's hot.
It is really hot, and I think it's also like in all mugs. Like we had this new mug at April, and it's actually designed to hold a lot less liquid. Because in cups, when you have so much coffee in the actual cup, it's kind of hard to take in the aromatics, right? So it's nice when you can kind of stick your nose in it, and then it actually smells a lot better. So I get a little bit more of this kind of tangerine vibe to it. Maybe some strawberry, like very ripe, slightly overripe strawberries. And what do you think is the difference, like main difference in the cup from the morning?
In the morning, I think I didn't extract in a very good way because I feel it's not a harmony. I mean, it's layers. I don't know how to describe it.
I think whenever you have really, really short contact time coffees on especially this kind of coffees that are still kind of traditional processed coffees, like it's not infused, then when you have a contact time below 2 minutes, it's going to be hard to get the taste out. You need a bit longer contact time. And this almost up at 3 minutes, I think is actually kind of nice. Like you get a bit of that roast character. It's definitely not like 100% clean cup.
No.
But it's still like a really enjoyable cup because you can taste the quality of the green coffee. What do you think? So she also had quite a few geisha at April very recently, so now you can kind of benchmark.
I didn't
compare a little bit.
I didn't have the nature Elida in April. I had a double washed geisha in April, which I like it.
Yeah, del morito. Yeah. I quite like this, and as it cools down, it gets more
floral. It's almost like a bit of a chamomile black tea kind of thing. Black tea is a little bit bitter because of that roast degree, I think. But still like super complex, long aftertaste.
Yeah.
So while we're kind of sipping Elida Estate Gesha from Monogram, what kind of got you into, let's say, coffee in the first place, right? I mean, you moved to Copenhagen kind of recently also.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah.
End of last year.
So you're kind of like, were you into coffee before Copenhagen?
Yeah, for many years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was the thing that kind of got you interested in coffee in the first place?
I like, in principle, I like food. I like anything that like for drinking and those. And I start to drink maybe around 2014 or something. That time the coffee in China is mostly dark roasted.
2014. That's like when I started in coffee almost.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So that time in China, the environment is more in a more dark roasted.
Yeah.
And because I travel a lot, I travel Indonesia a lot, and they have many places famous for coffee. So that time I tried from like different islands, Toraja and Sumatra, and
like local Indonesian beans.
Yes. And and I like the vibe. People just sitting on the street and having this coffee. You know, it's very simple.
Yeah.
And don't really go too much into the extreme, but the vibe. Yeah. And and friends always send me coffee from Bandung, and they have like famous roastery, but mostly they are very dark roasted compared to now. Yeah. And then I get into the like more light roasted coffee maybe later years.
Okay.
And I start to appreciate the acidity. And I went to my hometown, like in Hangzhou. I met many friends making coffee there and roasting coffee there. I try to learn from them.
Yeah.
And they give me some sensory courses. And I try to learn the roastery as well for 1-2 days maybe.
Okay, that's cool. So then you have almost like
so
a
I
little
have
bit of
like an
education.
entry, yeah.
Yeah,
So
sure.
I kind of
you have
know
more
what it
entry
is.
than most people, I think. But then what, like moving to Copenhagen, starting to drink coffee here, did you feel that was very different?
It's getting better now.
This is getting real.
Yeah.
This is becoming really kind of candy.
Now it's getting better.
Like actually really sweet, a little bit more vibrant. Some of that kind of, let's say, heavier notes gets a little bit juicier.
Yeah.
So it actually transitioned really nicely into the cold temperature. Good brew.
Good what?
Good brew.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for your guidance. Good teacher.
I think it worked pretty well. Again, like contact time is everything. It's important. And how you pour. Anyhow, back to the topic. So Copenhagen, what was the main kind of impression when you got here first coffee-wise? Like, was it, oh, the coffee is really good, or is it really bad, or is it...
It's really good. I mean, my friends think I come here. It's like a mouse, a mouse getting into a rice tank. Like you just drink.
Sure.
But I think Oslo might be like a bigger rice tank. But
Maybe,
I don't know. But the coffee here is quite nice. Just ordinary. I have like without even hand brew, just filter coffee, pour over. Not pour over, like brew coffee.
Batch brews, yeah.
Yes, like Kenya I feel it's fresh and it has the one that I'm searching for. Not that clean, but they have the main notes that I like. So I quite like it here.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I think the style of coffee here is also, it's developing, it's changing, it's getting a little bit better as well. A little bit of recap, maybe what we did here. So we did a 12-gram dose of coffee, 200 grams of water, bottled water, 94 degrees Celsius-ish, more or less. And then you brewed this coffee in the morning with a kind of classic 12 to 200, 100-gram pour, 100-gram pour.
Right.
And because you said that went a little bit fast, we just changed the pouring structure.
Yeah.
So we didn't actually change the grind size. That was the same, 23 clicks.
Yeah.
we think.
Approximately.
You don't. She doesn't really know because she doesn't like
23, I
adjusting the
think.
clicks, which makes sense.
Mm.
I would say it tastes like it, or at least it tastes good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we just switched up that pouring to 50, 100, which I think turned out really well.
It's nice now.
Seems to be suiting Monogram's kind of roast style quite well also. Really nice Gesha from Elida, actually. I quite enjoy it.
Cool.
A little bit heavy on the processing, but also like juicy and clean and sweet.
Yeah, it's nice now.
It is kind of. What's the main flavor notes you're finding now when it's cooling down?
I usually drink quite high acidity, so when it's not rounded or bright enough to me, and then I don't like it so much.
Sure. No. I really guess it's like tangerine chamomile vibe for me, which I really like. A little bit of red plum, maybe a bit skin. So a little bit kind of skin contact taste to it as well, but like super nice. Yeah. Awesome. I think that's a good place to kind of wrap up. No? Thank you for having me or having us.
Thank you for teaching.
Really nice.
Very nice lecture.
Thank you guys for watching as per always. I'm sure you have a lot of comments. Again, we're coming back with a lot more of these videos now as well. I'm going to soon kind of travel around the world, so you got to see a lot more different perspectives. As always, comment, share. Have you had Monogram coffee before? What do you think? Have you tried this pouring method? Do you have any recommendations? We're always really happy to hear your thoughts. So make sure you sign up, you comment, you do all of that. You sign up for Patreon to know where I go next. And with that, just thank you all for watching, and thank you again for having us.
Thank you.
Super. Thank you.
We want to give a special thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. It's because of you that we are able to continue to make these videos. And we want you all to feel free to always come with suggestions and ideas on the content that you want to see, because we are doing this for you and because of you. Thank you from all of us here at April.